Alright, welcome back. It is Monday the 5th of June? Question mark?
June.
That's good, because if it were July, I would have missed a wedding. This is our second session of the second story arc of Escalation. Try saying that 10 times fast. And I just noticed I got all this crap behind me. But you know what? I have a toddler, and these are the only flat spaces available to us thanks to my wife. So, I'm not going to apologize for it. Even though I just did, basically. Last time, you guys were brought in and questioned by an agent of Topaz. Topaz being basically the FBI for super beings such as yourselves. You guys were questioned, and then you were told unilaterally that you guys need to stop because the government's stepping in to manage all super activity. And the next day,
The one of their agent getting shit at.
the next day, Indigo Shade decides to talk to the press about how bullshit everything is, and he gets attacked by this mysterious man called the Black Knight. And Scion, an agent of Topaz, who has superpowers, tried to intervene and was shot by a sniper. And she fell down unconscious, and Steel Guardian was tending to her. So, Indigo Shade has been fighting Black Knight and his mount Nightmare, aided by Zeus, and Steel Guardian was getting ready to jump in. So, that brings us right up to the moment we're in. And, instead of jumping right back into combat, the situation is going to be changing slightly. So, Indigo Shade is being circled by Nightmare and Black Knight atop Nightmare. And Zeus, I believe by now you've actually like physically moved to the area. Before you were just
No.
no, you're still on the rooftop doing lightning because that's right. It's currently it's raining
until it gets bad. That's when I move.
So let's get that rain going. Yeah, so you've just been dishing out lightning. So, you will probably be the first one who has the ability to see something. So go ahead and roll notice, and while you do that, Steel Guardian, at this point, you're like, alright, this has gone on long enough, I'm gonna jump in. So you stand up. Oh, rip. That doesn't mean you don't notice it, that just means you just notice it when everyone else does.
Don't notice it that well.
Right, you just notice it when everyone else does. You don't get foreknowledge of the event.
I mean, I kind of want it. No, I don't care. No.
All right, so Steel Guardian, you gently lay Scion down and you leap up, and you start heading over to the fight. And as you do, everyone starts hearing the very low, bassy sound of a helicopter, a big helicopter. And this massive black helicopter that has 4 propellers in each quadrant descends from the clouds, entering the rain, as it were, directly overhead. And as it does, these sort of bomb doors open up on the bottom, and 2 figures are dropped from about a height of a couple hundred feet. And they're going to land pretty much on either side of the fight. They look similar. They have different weapons and different color palettes, but they look like these.
Iron Man. Iron Man variant number 2.
No, I was thinking heavy arms and I can't remember the other Gundam's name.
Interesting look.
Yeah, so these things stand about 9 feet tall.
Like how they have a vent on their bunch.
They're quite wide, and they're obviously this very it's a full body suit, highly mechanized, and you guys can hear gears and pistons basically like motor assistance as they kind of come to stand. And the black and red one brings a minigun up to bear, while the brown and green one brings up this M60 medium machine gun. And they're basically on either side of the action. And at this point, Black Knight kind of brings Nightmare to a stop. And the black and red one, his minigun starts spinning, and the brown and green one declares in a amplified voice, "This is Topaz. Cease this activity immediately, or we will intervene." To which Black Knight responds immediately, "Have you no honor? This is a duel between super soldiers, warriors of powers beyond that which you can understand." What do you guys say?
I'm not there.
Right.
I think it's an Indago to answer this one.
So, I'll look over my shoulder towards the one that made the announcement, and I'll say, "If you're willing to do more than your cohort previously, I'd be more than happy to stand down. I'm only sitting here defending myself, seeing as the law," and I'll motion over towards Steel Guardian, having, happened to aid her, failed to protect me from this, and I'll point my sword over towards the Black Knight.
Yeah.
Say, "From this medieval fantasy fiend."
He looks back at you, Black Knight does, and he's like, "Fantasy? Do I not stand before you?"
Real life.
Oh shit.
I used to watch
Okay. Yeah, I left my my bit rate where it is for Arma, and that means a lot of lost frames. I'm very sorry. If you've been watching up until this point, it should get better. Oops.
Shit.
I had 60% frame loss, so I'm sure it looks great, but I should have fixed it going forward. I'm still getting some frame drop, but it's not as bad. I'll keep an eye on it. I think for now I'll just reduce it lower than my normal, just so we can play catch up, I guess. Alright. So bitrate out of the way. Right. So he responds, "Lower your weapons." That's pretty much it.
Hand yourself over to the police and authorities.
Yeah, so at that request, I'll kind of put my hands out to either side, and with a flick of either wrist, I'll have my shadow shield dissipate into a burst of, shadow, and then I'll have the blade resheath into my arm.
Alright. And Black Knight kind of weighs his options, and he looks up at this large helicopter standing a few hundred feet above y'all. The wind of the propeller is kind of creating like this cyclonic effect of the rain around you. And he looks back at Indigo Shade and at the warriors, and he's like, and he jumps down off of his horse, and he strikes it on the rear, and it starts running off, and then he throws down his sword and his shield, and he goes, "Poor show, poor show."
Mate.
You picked a terrible place to host a street fight. A duel would be better suited in an arena.
We're at home.
He looks at you and he's like, "Next time." So these two hulking, mechanized suits kind of like move in. And as they do, over each of their left shoulders, they have this auto cannon that's kind of like moving between everyone around here, kind of indiscriminately, operating autonomously, basically. And the brown and green one moves over to Black Knight and like puts his M60 on his back and procures a pair of special handcuffs. While the other guy continues to point his minigun at the two of you.
They don't like you.
And he kind of like gestures his gun over at Scion. And he says, once again through an amplified voice, like, "She gonna live?"
I believe so. I never rolled, but I'm assuming with all the time I took take care of her, she's probably stable, so yes.
He's like, "That's good, that's good. Well, we've got all this
We
on
don't know where the
surveillance.
sniper is.
We know you guys were acting in self-defense. But, just watch yourselves."
But what?
No. That's right.
Quicker response time would be better.
Well, you didn't help the situation. Showing up at a police station in your fruity little costume.
Oh.
You invite challenge.
Setting up a place of authority.
The official
I
opinion of
didn't think that could be
Topaz.
safer anywhere else.
Oh.
Topaz officially requests that you guys go home and throw away your ridiculous outfits. And he puts down his minigun and it stops spinning.
I'm gonna tilt my head and say, "You're right. Your twin plaid outfit really gives you room to talk over the monochromatism that I have that I'm rocking over here. The difference being is I didn't spray paint mine."
He steps forward and kind of leans over you, and he says, slightly in a lower voice, he says, "Oh, just give me a chance, purple boy. Just give me a reason."
And in the background, more or less so they hear him, but like, you know, trying to make it so it's not obvious, Oliver Stone is just gonna like scratch his chin like this, examining their whole equipment and go like, "So my outfit's ridiculous, so I need to go with a crotch vent." Okay, crotch vent is.
When your dick's as hot as mine. No, so he leans in and says that to me, and I'll lean forward and say, "I'll give you two." And I'll motion towards the camera crews and everything. Police brutality is police brutality, no matter what your outfit might bear. How much do you think I'd get for suing you for assault?
And he sits there and cries.
I'm obeying the law. I'm letting you do your job. You might not like my attitude, but I'd hardly say your bedside manner is one to mimic.
He chuckles and straightens himself up, and then as he turns to leave, he says, "Next time, Barney."
Oh.
You're gonna feel like you're getting fucked by a purple dinosaur. Keep it up, boy. I'll turn my back to him just as he starts to turn his back to me.
The helicopter comes in for a landing, and these two guys carry Scion and drag Black Knight into the helicopter.
I know, I'm like, "Get off me! Get off me! My honor is at risk! Fuck you!"
Actually, as he gets dragged away, he shouts, "Indigo Shade, this is not over! I shall have my satisfaction!"
You're gonna satisfy somebody. I wish you the best of luck, but I'm not going to jail for your honor.
Alright. And they board the helicopter.
Alright.
I'll look over at Steel Guardian and say, "One of the best fights I've ever had."
Interesting.
Probably would have gone a little bit different if Zeus wasn't helping me, but all the same.
Meanwhile, all the news crews are you know, like filming the helicopter and filming you guys. That's it. That's all I wanted to add.
So I'll get on the comms and radio out that we need to go.
And I leave.
And in my case, I simply get on my motorcycle and get out.
You guys return to the HQ?
No, it's too scary.
Too spoopy?
Using the single-digit security pad to get back inside.
That looks so weird.
It's
Sorry.
136 times, in case anybody was wondering.
Yeah, ooh.
Nobody will think of it. They always stop at 35. I can imagine someone being in her age, like beep 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 beep. Oh, fucking hell! Beep 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 beep.
Hey, what
There's
you doing
always
at 12:10?
dying.
Motherfucker, I lost count!
So he's dying. I know. I am at
Right.
35.
If you push,
Shit.
if you press it 37 times, you know, like it's like no, doesn't take it.
It's like, oh, I need 2 more minutes.
You what, mate?
You what, mate? You fucking what? Anyway, in addition to having the wrong bitrate for the stream, we've been having pretty epic thunderstorms where I live. So our internet has been shitty the past few days. So I'm still losing frames, not nearly as badly as before, but I'm still getting frame loss much greater than I normally get. Likely because our internet connection is, you know, hindered.
You tell the stream people that.
I'm gonna get your stream banned.
There you go. Tell Twitch that they're a bitch.
Live pussy.
God damn, guys.
Woof.
Alright, well, you guys are back at the HQ.
Well, at this point, Steel Guardian is probably just gonna hang out for at least another day, you know, just let Topaz do their thing, see if they can deal with all the villains, because most of the villains are still out in the street, and they probably won't stop. I doubt they will obey they'll do some superhero / supervillain stuff. So, it's probably just gonna hang out, wait for shit to go south, and wait for Topaz to either sort it out, or have to call upon Vigilante! He's gonna try really, really, really hard not to say I told you so.
Just want to make sure. We said we're gonna give him like a week.
I'm gonna continue my media rampage, and I'm gonna take to the radio. I can talk to the old people, because only old people listen to the radio.
Oh, yeah? Is that going back to our
And,
pre-stream conversation about radio?
And,
yeah,
well, they're also
but
the only
it-
ones
it's
who
just
vote,
a,
so...
It's just a coincidence.
Just coincidence.
I mean, but there's a reason behind it, like...
I'm not gonna actually do much since I am homeless and I wasn't doing too much before then.
Indigo for mayor.
Other than hunting down Minos Industry, and then since that's done, I'm kind of like, well, I'm on a week break, so I'm just gonna go over to my dependent's place and fuck around with her. See, you thought I was gonna go the other way, and it didn't.
I mean, that was the way it went. Fuck
Right,
around with
you know
her
what,
has
Jake?
quite a few connotations.
You know, you're just a sexual deviant.
I'm alright with that.
Yeah, but
I
until
think
I'm
I'll
called
live.
upon, until I'm called upon, probably just gonna hang around our house, be a house husband. I mean, a house guy for a while.
Alright. So you guys just...
fire to
The
herself.
consensus is you guys are just gonna lay low?
Well,
Pretty
lay
much.
low, but I mean, Steel Guardian's still gonna monitor what's happening.
Yeah,
So,
until something like serious happens. I mean, I'm doing the same thing too, but I'm
because
treating
I
it
mean,
as a
for
break.
example, if there's a very extreme threat that even if Topaz is on the point, like extreme threat, Steel Guardian's not gonna let it go. But
Right.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't think I'm
redouble my
ready to-
efforts
There you
with
go.
my nightclub surveillance.
I don't think I'm too ready to take on the federal government just yet.
Not yet, huh?
So I'm use my old underground connections and just stay in touch while I'm watching TV.
Gotcha. Well,
And for underpants makes the scene.
a few days later, who is in the HQ?
I mean, I work there.
Probably still Guardian, because he's either working in the HQ or well, at his apartment, but his apartment he probably doesn't do much. So yeah, HQ or at the actual place where he works, aka just over the HQ.
Okay, so we'll say still Guardians in the HQ. Is anyone else in the HQ? Doesn't have to only be one person.
Yeah, that'd probably be.
I need a reason. I mean, yeah. Let's say I'm just walking in.
Okay, so
Just checking out.
before we continue the scene, I do want to talk about the big suit guys. Because they showed up and stopped your fight, obviously they're now in the public eye. So the government comes out. Topaz says, you know, they basically do kind of like a press release saying, you know, these are unnamed operators operating the XCS-7A and the XCS-7C, codenames Ace and Conquest, respectively. They are military personnel operating on behalf of Topaz, using Topaz equipment. So you now have those in your journal under Topaz.
Topaz.
That way I don't have to say the brown guy and the black guy, because I realize now that...
Oh, that's racist.
Exactly. That might sound a bit racist.
Or the
Still-
squirrely
as Still Guardian
conversations that
is
are about to
sitting
stem
there.
from it.
As Still Guardian is sitting there, you know, monitoring and reading about that stuff and so on and so forth, he has a funny thought which he shares with his teammates. If we go back on the street and decide to go over what the government has set in place, we should call our new organization something like Metis or Ruby, just to put like piss them off.
I
Oh,
was going to comment on the fact that they didn't screw with the white guy, and I'll point over at Steel Guardian, Steel, white, you know.
it's a bit of a stretch. He's more of a gray. Or a
Gray,
silvery
yeah.
color.
Gray, silver.
Yeah, call it what you want.
Pointing fun at him, it'd be white.
Wow,
The
man.
lightest out of all of us.
He's silver.
Oh,
He's a
you know what?
minority.
We should attack like in the daytime, like in morning. So Steel Guardian can use the sun to reflect on people's eyes. You always have the advantage in fight.
All right, so Steel Guardian is in the HQ, and I think Indigo Shade, you're also in the HQ. All right, so you guys are just like in the command room, and at this point in time, you're pretty sure nobody's in the bathroom. Like nobody's gone in there. You never saw anyone go into the bathroom, right? But the toilet flushes. And at first, neither of you make any like connections. Like you don't think anything of it. You're like, oh, someone's using the bathroom. But then both of you kind of at the same time are like, who's in the bathroom? And the door
See
opens.
Eclipse?
The door opens, and a familiar figure comes out, fixing his robe. It is the wizard
Yes.
Zid.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
brother, light a match.
And he's like, oh, let me... And he snaps his fingers, and the smell's gone. Replaced by the smell of roses.
That's slightly unsettling, but sure.
oh, Sid, the guy who violated my body and forcibly gave me these
You're
powers.
not there.
Oh,
I
I'm
asked
here.
who was in the HQ. Alright, you're...
Yeah, that sounds an HQ. That sounds
Okay,
good.
so you come out of your room, and you're like, oh, it's Zid. Great, this fucking guy.
Like, you come back to violate me again?
And he winks at you, and he just goes, no, just your toilet. And he's like, anyway,
Oh,
why am I here? Oh, right. So he comes over to your command table, and he's like, you damn young people don't have any chairs. Everyone's just supposed to stand here looking serious.
I point to the four-legged stools, no backrest.
Oh, bless you, he says sarcastically, and he drags it very loudly over to him, and then, like, kind of, like, plops himself down on it. He's like, much better. You have anything to drink?
Water.
I'll take it. Do you have one of those fancy reverse osmosis machines?
No, but we have this swirly straw.
that works the same.
It's exactly the same principle.
Goes through the strolls and gets filtered. Everybody knows this.
You know, I hadn't considered that. I probably should have. That would have saved me a lot of money. I didn't have to get a reverse osmosis tank. I could have just gotten twisty straws. Damn. Now I feel
Let's
like
go
an idiot.
again. We solved your issue.
Yeah, now I feel
Still
like an idiot.
Guardian is Still Guardian's gonna stand up and go grab a glass of water for the Wizard of I
The
can't
wizard
say-
Zid.
The whizzing Zid.
The whizzing
There you
Zid.
go.
He's gonna come back with a.
What's wizard in
swirly
French?
Straw. Magicien.
Yeah, it would be.
Magicien Zid. Yeah, don't try to pronounce it.
Nope.
So Steel Guardian comes back with the glass of water and a swirly straw. It looks strangely in the shape of a dick.
Of course it does.
Got it at Happy Days for $5. There's a.
You tried using it at
there's
McDonald's
an
and somebody
outgrowth
called the
that looks
police.
like a cat tail on the road.
Anyway, so he sits there and he
I've seen
starts
enough on
taking
Time to know where
small
this is going.
sips of the water and going sip.
So, you have a reason for being here, bud? Other than drinking our water?
He's like, huh? Oh, right, yes, well. It's my belief that you, Mr. Zeus, had a run-in with an entity known as Riser. Is that correct?
Unofficially, yes. Officially, maybe.
Well, which is it, boy?
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
Riser. I see. Well. And he puts down the glass of water. He's like, I don't need a coaster, do I? I don't see any coasters.
No, our tables are stainless steel. Go ahead.
Oh, excellent. All right. Well, Riser is in the service of a powerful man, evil as they come, known as the Sorcerer.
Great.
Last in line at the naming convention, huh?
Gravlock,
Come out of Comic-Con.
who I believe you've also encountered, is one of his pupils.
You know what? I talked to Gravlock. She did talk about him, I think. Yeah, sure.
He
You mentioned
nods.
him. Well, other than telling us evil, what else is he doing and up to? Same thing, but hey.
Well, the Sorcerer heads a cabal of young individuals learning magic directly from him. And I'm not quite sure as to his goals, but he aims to increase his power. And the methods in which he's decided to increase his power are dangerous and harmful to those around him. Which is why I've set out to oppose him. Now, granted, old Zid here can't fight a cabal of young, strapping sorcerers and fire entities from other planes. I need you. And, since the government said you guys weren't allowed to do anything, I suppose now you can help me fight this mystical threat to our very world.
I look at Zid with a confused look, like, gave you these powers. You tell me you can't fight them? Fucking piece of shit.
I'm confused as to how you went from you understand we can't do anything to I need you to do this.
Well, I don't expect you guys to have a brawl with Riser in the streets. That's so
1920.
vulgar. No, I expect the sanctums in which you will do battle will be secluded, isolated from the public eye. After all,
So-
you three only learned about magic when the antimatter explosion went off.
Oh, so instead of finding it on the streets and in the open, we're going to be finding it in the back alleys. Big difference.
Okay, so what did you have in mind?
Well,
Where would be a good place to start?
I have my suspicions that Gravlock and Riser have returned to Perseton and are searching a powerful mystical object.
And what does this object do?
Well, it is a dynastic gong from ancient China. It is imbued with mystical powers. They say that when struck with an equally mystical instrument, it creates a devastating sound wave akin to, well, there's nothing really in that I can describe it to, but it essentially could cause incredible destructive powers such as tremors and earthquakes. It's very dangerous.
So it's an earthquake machine.
He looks at you just like, effectively.
That's a lot easier. Okay, well, that sounds cool and everything, but not to really put group down or be negative. We're not really magical. Well, we're not sorcerers. Or, you know, whatever.
You've defeated Gravlock before.
I met this Gravlock chick in a negotiation room. Never really fought her.
But the other two have, haven't you?
What, you mean fought Gravlock?
Yes.
Yeah. Difficult to get to close the distance with, but once we're able to do that, she didn't seem to put up too much of a fight. But if she's been practicing with this cabal, not exactly sure what to expect now.
That was crazy ass magic. She's practicing blood. She's using her blood to do stuff. Weird.
That's dark magic, boy.
No.
Well, he kind of waves his hand, and all the information appears on your data displays and your holographic images and all that. He's like, that's the sanctum where the gong is being held. Its defenders are quasi-mystical in nature, but I suspect they won't be prepared for Riser and Gravlock.
So you think we should hire ourselves out, help protect the sanctum?
I'm saying you should go there. Tonight. And protect it.
Act as bodyguards of the sanctum.
Correct. Unless you wish to see this gong fall into the hands of malicious magical wielders.
Well, my understanding is that they would need a second device to activate it, isn't that true? Mystical device striking against the gong, though it's a two-part
Well,
threat. Do they already have the first?
likely. Why else would they go after the gong? And the sorcerer has been collecting magical oddities for the last several years.
Well, fuck me standing. I guess we should probably do something about this.
I shrug and I go, well, you gave me power, so I'm indebted to you? Do I have to go? Count me in? By force? By will?
You guys are the most reluctant superheroes ever. Oh, there's some mystical threat. They want us. They want a WMD. I mean, I'm not doing anything tonight, so I guess I'll go save the day.
My guy's
I have,
thinking
dinner, I
along
have
the
dinner plans.
my guy's thinking along the lines is like, yeah, I have dinner plans and I'm not really too magical, but whatever.
The doctor's appointment, so I guess I can move it next week.
I've had this appointment for 3 months. Fuck that.
God damn it.
You know how hard it is to get into a proctologist?
Well, I'm sure you'll enlighten me.
Oh, yeah, we're all voted in to help you.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Maybe.
Well, all the information you need is on your displays. Good day. And he disappears in a poof.
Ah, fuck! It smells like fart again. Got us. The old man got us.
What a
That
bastard.
tricky little bastard.
He lured my nostrils into a false sense of security.
Hmm.
I think I'm bleeding into my lungs.
All right, so you guys have the plans, or at least where this sanctum is. Um, it appears by the blueprints that it is an apartment complex situated above a restaurant. Obviously, since we're on theme, it's a Chinese restaurant.
Oh shit.
I ain't fucking with that.
Noodles must be good.
If it was like a seafood buffet, I'd be down. But
What do you think
fuck with the Chinese.
Chinese food entails? I suppose it's.
Lobster?
I mean, they are coastal, are they not?
I mean, sure, but a seafood buffet and a Chinese buffet are different.
Two different things. Yes, I will admit.
Are they delicious?
Oh man, now I'm all hungry. Okay, so looking at the blueprints, do we see? I mean, what are our access points? Do we see the? Does it also come with like the plumbing lines? Like maybe we go in through the sewer, bust our way up. Oh wait, no, you said it's the cabals in the upper levels, huh?
Right. The plans that the wizard Zid gave you show like a utility closet that's not really part of any of the apartment suites, but it's a utility closet, and according to the information that Zid installed on your computers, this utility closet is actually a doorway into the sanctum, whatever that means. As for the building itself, you don't have those kind of schematics. You have a basic blueprint of the building itself, but it doesn't contain subterranean plumbing lines or power outlets, anything like that. It does have a fire escape, and the building is 3 stories with the roof access. The top 2 stories are apartments, and the bottom story is a Chinese food restaurant.
And what level is the utility closet on?
The 2nd floor.
I think our best bet would be I'm gonna take out my binoculars and let's circle around, look through the windows, see if there's a vacant window access point, get us directly onto the 2nd floor.
Yeah, there's
Well,
a fire
got it.
escape. So there's like there's an exterior door that will get you into the building. It's one of those doors that when opens triggers an alarm, though. You know?
Of course.
It's an emergency exit. So when the door opens, the fire alarm goes off.
I was gonna be like,
Can we fly in through any of the other windows?
Sure, if the windows are open, you could probably fly in through them. However, if you
Why
guys
if
pull
they're
up
not?
like Google Maps, they're barred. The windows are barred. So you'd have to do some
Okay.
reconstructive surgery on the building's facade in order to enter.
Molecular blade.
Since I have a lockpick set,
RPG 7.
if I have a lockpick set, I use my knowledge. Would I be able to basically disarm the alarm? I don't know why I can't.
Not with
say
a basic lockpick set, sadly, no.
it. You son of a bitch.
If you could buy some really strong magnets and slip it in between the frame, you might be able to trick lock into thinking that.
But
it's
you could use it to unlock the roof access door, which is not part of the fire escape system.
Well, there you go.
So you could just enter from the roof.
Or I could punch in the door.
mention the door.
Everything's a possibility. Well, of course I go for that. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go to roof access. Got a lot of pay, man. Let's fucking do it.
All right, we fly up there, and then you see Steel Guardian driving his motorcycle up the side of the building.
Yep.
He's got the spider mobile.
All right, so you guys make for the. You wait till that night and you head for the apartment building.
Yeah.
Cool.
If anybody doesn't know, the Spermobile is a real fucking thing in comics.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. All right, so you guys make it to the roof. It's all clear. So what do you guys do? Do you guys want to just move straight for the door and start lockpicking? We are now in an active scene.
Yeah, I mean, we're all suited up and everything. Do we need to make
Stealth rolls?
notice roll? Well, stealth rolls once we get inside, but notice rolls or anything like that?
Yeah. I
Is
mean,
that-
it depends
is
on
it
your what's your tactic here.
Well, I mean, if we have a stairwell, my thoughts would be just to take the stairs to the second floor. But I mean, I still would have liked to have done like a side reconnaissance, like looking through the windows and everything. Like, are we just seeing a bunch of mean bamboo swinging motherfuckers walking through the apartments, or is this like an
Okay, so you want to
like
scope
a
it out.
So you want to
civilians?
scout it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So make notice rolls.
For what it's worth from the ground, I will scout it out.
All right.
For what it's worth.
So how? Also, as you're making your notice roll, you need to tell me what method in which are you just peering through the windows? Those of you who can fly.
Oh, well, if I'm flying, I believe Indigo's gonna do that or do something similar to it. So I'm gonna just do an air reconnaissance all around.
Yeah,
Still-
I'll be peering in through the windows with my binoculars.
Still, Guardian is just gonna. I'm assuming the building has roads around it, like it's in.
Yeah. It's probably
so it's just
adjacent
gonna
to
drive
like.
around.
It's probably adjacent to some kind of parking lot.
Yeah, so Oliver Stone, or sorry, Steel Guardian's gonna drive about with his motorcycle, just scout out the ground floor, like who's outside, is there any patrol, do I see any sort of cameras?
Okay. So you're scoping the perimeter. Indigo's looking in
Basically.
through the windows, and what is Zeus doing?
I was doing basically air reconnaissance, like looking for above, all that type of crap.
Okay.
Almost the same thing as Steel Guardian.
Same thing as Steel
so-
Guardian, but from like an aerial view.
Yeah.
All right, Indigo. Unless you want to spend a Benny, you don't gather any kind of significant intelligence.
I don't see shit.
I
Oliver.
can clearly see that the shades are drawn.
Right. Oliver Stone, you notice an unmarked white van parked in an alleyway with clear
Okay.
access to the back door. Like you could walk with no obstruction. You have to cross the street, obviously, but from the street to the back door, it's like almost a direct line.
Oh, interesting.
And Zeus, with the success, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary, honestly. Yeah.
Cool.
I suppose you're likely to see the van too, since you have an aerial view.
You believe that. Alright, well, I'll tell him on the comm link.
Yeah, Steel Guardian's gonna say, I think I found my way in.
Could also lift you.
Well, of course, but you guys don't want to lift me somewhere, then the only way in for me would be there. However, I also say that on comms, I'm not the best at sneaking.
Yeah, we probably should bring you with us.
All right. Well, if you guys couldn't hear, it's about time for our first break. So I'll let you guys brew on your plans here, because right now you guys are just kind of jumping in. So I'll give this. We'll go on break. The three of you use this time to do the normal thing, go to the bathroom, all that, but also think about
Okay.
your approach to this. And we'll be back around 8:10. I'm sorry, 8:10 my time, which would be 10 after, or 10 or 11 after. So in about 10 minutes, hopefully, if all goes according to plan. So stick around.